Nature Reuses and Recycles, written by Molly Wetter Dear. Focus question: how does nature reuse and recycle? Recycle, reuse, or trash. Clink, bonk, plunk. Those are the sounds of cans and bottles being tossed into the trash or into the recycling bin. Items such as cans, bottles, and newspapers can be treated as trash, but they can be recycled instead. When you recycle something, the materials that make up the thing can be remade into a new thing. Recycling is different from reusing. When you reuse something, you keep it in the same form and do not have to break it down and remake it. When you reuse a bottle, you might fill it up with water again, but you don't have to reuse something for its original purpose. When you reuse a soup can, you might keep pencils in it. When you reuse newspaper, you might use it to grab birthday presents. After you are through reusing something, you can then recycle it or reuse it again. Nature reuses and recycles. People are not the only ones who reuse and recycle. Nature does this too with organic materials. Organic materials are what living things are made of. By reusing and recycling, organic materials in nature, living things adapt and survive. Take a tree, every part of it can be used and reused in some ways by other living things. Other plants, along with insects, birds, and other animals, have adapted to use parts of the tree to help them survive too. For instance, the original purpose of a tree's leaves is to make food for the tree to survive, but a tree's leaves also offer shade for sprouting plants. Birds line their nest with leaves. Sometimes squirrels reuse a bird's nest for their own. Some insects make homes from dead leaves. That's 5 uses for the same leaves. Trees are used in other ways too. Owls make homes in the hollows of tree trunks. Beavers cut down trees and branches to make their homes. Some animals eat bark, leaves, and fruit from trees. Trees also provide valuable help to other living things when they died. When they die, fallen trees become nurselocks that provide food and a protected place for new trees and other plants to grow. Dead trees provide a home for animals. They can also provide food and building materials for other organisms. Some living things eat dead things. When dead things decompose, they break down, rot, or decay. Imagine what could happen if nothing decomposed. Dead plants and animals could just pile up. Lucky for us, several groups make sure that doesn't happen. The first group that helps things decompose is made up of large scavengers. These are animals with backbones that feed on dead and decaying flesh. Large scavengers eat the dead flesh, then return the nutrients to nature through their waste. Nutrients give living things energy and help them grow. Many mammals scavenge. These include opossums, raccoons, dogs, cats, rodents, and skunks. Large mammals that hunt, such as hyenas, lions, and coyotes, also scavenge at times. Birds that scavenge include crows, ravens, and vultures. A second group of decomposers does not have backbones. It includes insects such as flies, beetles, and larvae that eat dead flesh. Earthworms eat dead leaves that fall to the ground or plants that have died and begun to rot. When earthworms eat dead plants, their bodies make waste. These bits of waste look like little blobs of soil. And in fact, those blobs are rich food for plants. They contain many nutrients that plants need to develop and grow. Plants take up nutrients from the soil through their roots. The natural materials move in a circle from plants to worms and back to plants again. The third important group is made up of microbes such as bacteria and some fungi. These organisms are too small to see. They feed on many dead things, from fallen trees to the guts of dead animals. These organisms break down organic materials in things that have died. This process makes chemicals that can be used by other living things. Other fungi are big enough to see, mushrooms and toadstools, for instance, so these are not microbes. However, large or small fungi break down dead things. Fungi are different from green plants in part because they can't make their own food. Instead, fungi feed on dead plants and animals, helping them decompose. The nutrient cycle decay can seem like an end, but it's also a beginning. That's because once something has rotted or decomposed, the materials that made up that thing are free to make something else. All the things we need for life on Earth are already here. They've been here since Earth began. Those things change their shape and appearance, of course, but for life here to continue, this nutrient cycle must keep moving. Once a living thing has died, its nutrients must cycle back for some other living thing to use. Think of it this way: we are borrowing the things that make up our bodies. When we're done, it's time to give them back to the living. Decomposers help make that happen. Think of all the ways that living things use other living and dead things. You can see that nature does an awful lot of reusing and recycling. People should reuse and recycle as much as they can so they create less trash. But nature reuses or recycles every part of every living thing. It leaves no trash at all. We can learn a lot from nature.